Playoff football is where legends rise and expectations collapse. When the pressure is at its highest, history remembers not just the dominant, but the great underdog as well. These are the 10 greatest playoff upsets in NFL history. From backup quarterbacks and forgotten franchises to miracle plays and champions knocked off. These are the games that changed everything. Number 10. 1979 NFC Divisional Round, Rams over the Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys were 12-4, the class of the NFC, with Super Bowl expectations firmly in place. Led by Roger Staubach in what would be his final season, the Cowboys were riding a wave of dominance and experience. The Los Angeles Rams, on the other hand, entered the playoffs as a wild card with a 9-7 record and a backup quarterback in Vince Ferragamo. Nobody gave them much of a shot. But the Rams' defense came to play. They intercepted Staubach twice, and Ferragamo delivered big throws when it mattered. In a tight defensive battle, the Rams pulled off a shocking 21-19 victory in Dallas. The win ended the Cowboys' season and Staubach's career, while sending the Rams to their first Super Bowl. Number 9. 1980 NFC Championship, the Eagles over the Cowboys. The Cowboys were in familiar territory, a step away from another Super Bowl. The Philadelphia Eagles had other ideas. Under Dick Vermeil, the Eagles had built a tough, disciplined team. They entered as slight underdogs, but with a chance to flip the script on a long, dominant rival. Running back Wilbert Montgomery opened the game with a 42-yard touchdown run that electrified Veterans Stadium. The Eagles never looked back. Their defense smothered Danny White and held the Cowboys to just 206 total yards. Final score, 20-7. For Philadelphia, it was more than a win. It was a statement. Their first NFC title and first Super Bowl berth came at the expense of their most bitter rival. Number 8. 2005 AFC Divisional Round, Steelers over the Colts. The 14-2 Indianapolis Colts, led by MVP Peyton Manning, were the favorites to win it all. The 6-seeded Steelers had scraped their way into the playoffs and pulled off a win over the Bengals, but few expected them to handle the Colts. Pittsburgh came out firing, taking a 14-0 lead in the first quarter and silencing the RCA Dome. Their defense rattled Manning, forcing 2 turnovers and limiting Indy's explosive offense. Late in the game, a fumble by Jerome Bettis nearly derailed everything, but Ben Roethlisberger's game-saving tackle on the return changed the outcome. A missed field goal by Mike Vanderjagt sealed it. Steelers 28, Colts 18. Pittsburgh would ride the momentum all the way to a Super Bowl title. Number 7, Super Bowl IV. The Chiefs over the Vikings. The AFC had one more chance to prove it belonged before the full merger with the NFL. The Vikings were 13-point favorites with a ferocious defense known as the Purple People Eaters. The Chiefs? Just another AFL team, right? Wrong. Led by Hall of Fame coach Hank Strom and quarterback Len Dawson, the Chiefs executed a flawless game plan. Kansas City dominated in the trenches, forced 5 turnovers, and held the Vikings to just 67 rushing yards. Final score, 23-7. The Chiefs' win wasn't just an upset, it was a legacy-defining moment that proved the AFL teams could play with anyone. Number 6, 2010 NFC Wildcard, the Seahawks over the Saints. A 7-9 team in the playoffs was controversial enough. Hosting a playoff game? That was outrageous, but the Seattle Seahawks didn't care what the critics thought. Facing the defending Super Bowl champion New Orleans Saints, they entered the game as double-digit underdogs. Matt Hasselbeck threw 4 touchdown passes and Seattle built a surprising lead, but the play that changed everything and sparked seismic activity in the Pacific Northwest was Marshawn Lynch's 67-yard touchdown run, breaking 9 tackles and igniting the beastquake. Final score, Seahawks 41, Saints 36. One of the most unexpected and exhilarating playoff wins in NFL history. Number 5, 1987 NFC Divisional Round, the Vikings over the 49ers. The San Francisco 49ers went 13-2 in the regular season and were heavy favorites to win the Super Bowl. The 8-7 Minnesota Vikings barely made the playoffs, but football isn't played on paper. Wide receiver Anthony Carter delivered one of the most dominant postseason performances ever, catching 10 passes for 227 yards.
Running room, Wilson blocking for him.
The Vikings defense sacked Joe Montana 4 times and intercepted him as well, forcing Bill Walsh to bench him for Steve Young. Minnesota never trailed. They rolled to a 36-24 win that stunned the league and reminded everyone, never underestimate the hot hand in January. Number 4, 1996 AFC Divisional Round, the Jaguars over the Broncos. The second-year Jacksonville Jaguars were the league's Cinderella story, but their run was supposed to end in Denver. The Broncos, 13-3 and led by John Elway, were dominant at home and considered a lock for the AFC title game. Early on, it looked that way. Denver jumped to a quick 12-0 lead, but Jacksonville settled in. Mark Brunell threw for 245 yards. Natrone Means ran for 140 more, and the Jaguars clawed back. With poise and balance, they took a late lead and held on for a 30-27 victory. Denver was stunned. Jacksonville had pulled off one of the greatest playoff upsets of the 1990s. Number 3, Super Bowl 36, the Patriots over the Rams. The Rams were the NFL's offensive juggernaut, the greatest show on turf. Led by MVP Kurt Warner, they entered Super Bowl 36 as 14-point favorites. The Patriots, a team that started 0-2, was using a 6th-round pick at quarterback and had never won a championship. What unfolded was the beginning of a dynasty. The Patriots' defense confused and battered Warner, and Tom Brady, calm under pressure, led a final-minute drive to set up Adam Vinatieri's 48-yard game-winning field goal. Patriots 20, Rams 17. This wasn't just an upset, it was the birth of an empire. Number 2, Super Bowl 42, the Giants over the Patriots. 18-0, the New England Patriots were one win away from immortality. Their offense had shattered records, and they'd already beat the Giants in Week 17. Most expected a blowout. But the New York Giants had other plans. Their defensive line harassed Tom Brady all night, sacking him 5 times. Eli Manning, once again, stepped up when it mattered most. On a miraculous 3rd down, he escaped a sure sack and launched a pass to David Tyree, who secured it against his helmet. A few plays later, Manning found Plaxico Burress for the go-ahead touchdown. Giants 17, Patriots 14. One of the greatest upsets not just in NFL history, but all of sports. And coming in at number 1, Super Bowl 3, the Jets over the Colts. It was supposed to be a blowout. The Colts were 18-point favorites, led by Don Shula and loaded with Hall of Fame talent. The Jets, a brash young team from the AFL led by Joe Namath. Namath's now iconic guarantee seemed like a joke, but on game day, the Jets were the better team from start to finish. Namath threw for 206 yards, running back Matt Snell controlled the clock, and New York's defense forced 5 turnovers. The Jets 16, the Colts 7. It was a wild shift in pro football, a moment that gave the AFL credibility and changed the course of NFL history. These upsets remind us why the playoffs are special, because when the stakes are high and the lights are the brightest, anything can happen. From long shots to legends, these games are forever etched in NFL lore. Which upset shocked you the most? Drop your pick in the comments below. Hit that like button and subscribe for more epic NFL history countdowns. See you on the next one.